This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by AuthorU and the Book Shepherd. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Well, welcome to another edition of AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. And we're going to talk about social media, but just one platform that I have used very successfully. And for those of you who are nonfiction writers, you should be here. And we're going to go through why and some of the critical, essential steps you must go through the process. And that platform's called LinkedIn. And I know that some of you are going, oh my God, Jan. Oh, Judith, what are you talking about this time? And that the reality is that LinkedIn, yes, did start for careers. No question. And is it still big in the career business? Absolutely. Absolutely. But there are some very powerful points on it and huge connecting that you can do to develop the brand of you, Inc., or maybe I should say me, Inc. And that's what we're really about, is that you really can expand your expertise. And there's some very cool features that you can use on LinkedIn in developing that will continue to really not set the stage and expand, but cement your expertise level and your recognition that people can come and find you. So LinkedIn is going to be what we're going to be focusing on today. You're just going to have me and going in, and I'm going to go through some of the things that I've done. When I work with my authors as the book shepherd of pushing them into arenas that they need to develop and start with. So if you're not on LinkedIn, I want you to go there. Now there's a free and fee, as just everything is. You know what? The free's just fine. So, and I'm all for starting with free on anything to test it out. So that when you think of yourself as you author, are the CEO of Me, Inc. And you know I've spoken many, many times and shared, tried to goose you to really look at this publishing business as a true business. Like there's a P&L, there's a balance sheet. You got a product called your book. Products breed more products, then there are more books. You may develop workshops, events out of it. You could, T-shirts, whether it's mugs, you could have other kind of swag that you could come up with. You could create a whole system that goes on. I have one of my clients who is a cyclist, and she has now created and she will be incorporating not only her book, but creating workbooks out of it and training camps for both adults and kids. So there is just so much that you can do out there, but having that expertise and that thinking of the branding that you are the CEO of Me, Inc. will really change the way you think and how you operate and where you go from out there. So that's where we're going to be looking at. So it's the branding of you. How do you do it with LinkedIn? And how can you milk it, literally? Because this is that's not just branding, it's called marketing. And if there is one word that gives the spook to so many authors, it is literally marketing. And they don't want to do it. And I'm going to you got to get over it, people, because marketing is what's going to make it work for you and your book. All right. So branding, it's Me, Inc. That's you. And everywhere you go on, actually all your social media platforms, you need to think Me, Inc. And how you do. So if you look at that, you've got to immediately then move in the first step of developing anything on any social media platform. But LinkedIn gives you a little bit more. and can actually do a lot of things of goosing it up and enhancing it. And it's your profile. And looking at your profile optimization, literally, that's what we're talking about. So you want to get in and understand who you are, and that what's your expertise level. And again, this is really shouting out to the nonfiction person. And of course, if you're a fiction person, you know what? You all have your level of expertise. And there isn't a fiction author that I have that I've worked with, or I've interacted with, that hasn't had some type of major type of research that they had to go through to develop their themes, to expand their characters, to do their backstories, to their background, to just add so much to it. And you actually become an expert in some of those areas. So let's start with the whole area of optimizing your profile. And again, I'm going to be focusing on LinkedIn, knowing that this is going to domino to everything else you do. And one of the things that's very important about social media is some consistency here, that you carry it through, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, and that you can add a little bit more on depending on the uniqueness of that platform. But there's got to be some core things in that. So as you go into posting your name, make sure that, I guess you should have it spelled right so people can do that. And that I want to make sure that you also don't get caught, because by default, so often everything is lowercase. Use upper and lower cases. Make it easy for your readers to recognize words instead of all running together. And also you want to do it with your websites or your emails. So like my name is Judith Briles. So and my primary website or email address would be judith@briles.com. And I capitalize both the J and B. If I'm doing Judith at the Book Shepherd, I would be capitalizing the T, the B, and the S. And also make sure, for example, shepherd, a lot of people spell shepherd different ways. There's really only one for what I'm doing with this SHEPHERD. So make sure you've got that correct. And otherwise, if you don't, you're going to screw up the way people do searching for you and your findability. The next thing you want to do is make sure you do some customizing of your professional headline, your headline itself. So this is where your branding. In LinkedIn, you've got 120 characters, so it's not a tweet. You've got 120 characters to describe who you are, what you do, and whom you serve. So remember those three things. Who you are. I'm Judith Briles. I'm a book publishing expert. Okay, so you would have that. Then you want to do is, what you do. And that you guide authors. I guide authors to create successful books that they have no regrets with. And whom you serve. Well, I've already identified that within the authors. So you can use, your caps. You can have your, what you want to identify, what will distinguish you in your business. You want to have maybe a little bit of client experience. I could put, I've worked with over 1,000 authors. I mean, you could do those kind of things. And then it goes into other keywords. So it's really important to understand what your keywords, not a cutesy word that you love. Maybe you're branding a word, I can certainly play with that a little bit. But you want to understand that the words that you use in your descriptors have got to be the searchable type words. So use an entity, whether it's in the Google Analytics side, or like I use a tool, keywordspy.com, to find out what's the hit. How many people are going in and using these words in a monthly search? Because that's what, don't reinvent the wheel here. You want to use what are common searchable terms, and that's just essential and critical on that. So you're going to use that in customizing the descriptors on your headline. So think of that. Now, there's in LinkedIn, there's a summary section, and this is where you get to be more verbose. And you've got 2,000 characters to really spell it out. So now we're into multi-words, phrases. You can get a few paragraphs in. And this is where you can describe really in detail who you are, what you do, who you serve, in that area. And you can start, and I would start that off with a kind of a pitch in the opening paragraph, and pitching it as the visitor, hopefully a buyer, as the visitor is reading through that, you've used those key words, you've thrown out your lure, the first possibility of hooking them. And so you want to also, in this area, you've got the capability of using some bullets. So, do some drop down, make it appealing. And I know that when I created my speaker website years and years and years ago, when I was speaking exclusively on the healthcare field, that I had a meeting planner go through my website, and she says, you've got all this in the paragraph, that's great, but help me out here. If you will take this and drop it down, and these 5 key areas of your expertise that you can come in and do a keynote or a workshop for us, do those in bullet points so I can quickly see when I see your name and your expertise and topics are in blah, 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 blah. I will know within seconds if I want to pursue further. So make it easy for me. Make it easy for your readers and your visitors. And again, make sure that you use capitalization in this. Don't do the lazy default, which will go it in the other areas. So as you get into this, then you're going to think about your next paragraph is really what their takeaways are going to be. So again, what's in it for them is always essential. What will you do for me? If I engage with you, if I reach out to you, if I connect with you. Now, there's also a section on LinkedIn where they do want to know about your schooling. And I've always said to people, it doesn't matter if you have an MBA or a PhD. What you have to be is GOOD. All right. So I have both an MBA and a DBA, but Master's and Doctorate in Business Administration. So they're there. They're there. But LinkedIn gives you 1,000 characters to describe what you did in the school, why it's relevant to who you are today. And you know what? You may want to put, and I believe this, my real degree is in the School of Hard Knocks. So I could add on, although I have an MBA, an accredited MBA and a DBA, my real schooling has been the School of Hard Knocks. The ups and downs that I've gone through in businesses, in conflict resolution, whatever it is that you will be working on. So that would make a huge difference for where you are and how you go about it. Next up, you start listing out what skills you have. There's a whole section where you can list up your skills, and this is hot. This is very hot. Where you put this together and you come back. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. I'm going to get in those skills, and I'm going to show you, or I can't show you visually, but we'll describe it, how you can reposition it, because they'll suggest what skills you have, and you want to override it if it's not the right fit, or if it's not who you are, or if you want to emphasize something else. This is AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. I'm Judith Briles, your book shepherd, and we're talking about how to rock on LinkedIn.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Is there a book in you or another? AuthorU will show you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you'll find a supportive and brainstorming community that's connected and creative no matter where you live. AuthorU brings in national experts for its book camps and annual author extravaganza held each May. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through AuthorU's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. The Resource, its online book publishing news magazine, is content-heavy and it's free. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, AuthorU is for you. If you're a hobbyist or a casual author, it's not. Join AuthorU today through its website at AuthorU.org. Follow AuthorU on Twitter at AuthorU and on Facebook at AuthorU, where timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted daily. AuthorU, where the author goes to become seriously successful.
Every picture tells a story. And it's a truism that people do judge a book by its cover. Nick Sellinger and NZ Graphics have been in the business of producing superior graphic cover design and interior layout for self-published authors, independent and traditional publishers for years. He has developed a reputation for excellent work, fast turnarounds, and best of all, affordable pricing. NZ Graphics also produces ebooks and book marketing materials such as posters, sell sheets, postcards, bookmarks, business cards, logos, and more. Books designed for his clients have won multiple book awards, including Best Book Award by U.S. Book News, multiple Evie Awards from the Colorado Independent Publishers Association, Indie Book Awards, the San Francisco Book Festival Award, and Freedom Medal Award from Valley Forge. Visit www.nzgraphics.com or call 303-985-4174 for more details about making your book the success it should be. Mention that you are an FOJ, friend of Judith's, and that you heard about NZ Graphics on your guide to book publishing.
One of the most important decisions you will ever make is your choice for printing your book. You are choosing a company which will be responsible for guiding you through the process and printing your book at a level of quality and detail that embraces your personal and creative needs. You want to choose a company that when your book finally arrives, you are delighted and ready to move on to the next level, and one that is customer focused. Choose King Printing Company and Addy Books to be that company that brings you to the next level. Go to kingprinting.com or call 978-458-2345 and ask for Tom Campbell.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, skills. All right, there's a section where they can go up to 50 skills. And what people can do is they can go on and they can affirm that you are kind of like an expert, that you're fluent. And, it'll start numbering. Once you get over 99, it just says 99 plus. That's what you're after. You want to of your key areas. So I actually just went in and changed a bunch of mine, and I, they were down lower. So LinkedIn gives you the capability of repositioning. So if you have one that will show more, that will highlight more who and what you are, you can re-push it up on the list, because actually it's, even though it's got 50 that they can allow, that when people are scanning, they are not going to show all 50. They'll show around 10. So what are your big 10 that you want to fill in? Like I had a whole bunch of 99 plus, and, people would come in and they just automatically click, we know this person, and they go it along. Or some people click and they don't even know you, or who knows, maybe they follow your blog and they come in and affirm you. But put in the one. So I actually wrote in a month ago, I deleted a whole bunch. Even some of the 99 pluses. I deleted them because I really just didn't want to do the push, and some of them were actually redundant. And I re-put in, and I did have I did add Book Shepherd, I did add Book Coach, I did add Writing Coach, I added a couple of other ones. Marketing Expert was already there, but you can add those in. So you go back to your keywords, and you can add expert in it, and LinkedIn will give you the ability to, it may even already have it in its dictionary reference list of names that you put in. But what you want to do is put in the other that you want. So fine tune it, do some customization, and then what you're going to do is that you're going to let people know, especially if you've got some good followings within your blog, your Facebook, or your email list, and take a snapshot of what the skills section looks like. And do a little writing around, and maybe about something that you've done, and refer it over to your LinkedIn page, and do the ask. Ask them to go over and give the link to your page if they will mark off your expertise, so you can build that up. And if you're starting with new names, or you're doing a little bit of fine-tuning and repositioning, and it shows up new, it'll take a while to get back up to that 99 again, but that's what you're after. That's kind of a positioning, reinforces your expertise, the branding of you that you're going with. All right, and then let's talk about endorsements, those testimonials. You do want some. So people that you've worked with, maybe someone you've heard, and it does take time, again, to build them. And you can send them out via LinkedIn. Actually, you can do an invitation via LinkedIn out to contacts that you are on LinkedIn, and ask them if they would be comfortable doing an endorsement. And I get those every once in a while. And if I'm familiar with their work, if I know about their books, I've heard them speak, I usually will take a few minutes to craft something to come in and support my contacts. So again, it's all about the ask. Don't be shy here. You do want to do that. Now there's another little interesting feature on LinkedIn called projects. You can add on things that you're working on. If you're a consultant, or if you do workshops, you can literally add in the details of what's going on, what happens there, and do it but I would do it, kind of in a highlight, because you're not going to get real verbose here. But you can click on, they have something called building blocks, and you can add a section. So that's where you can go in and really dump in the whole project. And so look for the add projects in the section area, and then you can bring that about. If you're an author, or if you've contributed to something or an article, there's a section for adding publications in there, and you do want to do that. There's also a very cool feature, and I'll come back to that, where you can publish in nanosecond things. And when you have a good following, LinkedIn, like 500, LinkedIn actually will notify your followers when you've posted something in the publishing. And it's very easy when you go up to LinkedIn, and it says, to share something, post something new, share something new. You literally can, if you look at it very closely, you will see the ability to publish. And it says, literally publish. And as I'm telling you about this, I'm going to my LinkedIn page and looking at that. And so because LinkedIn has done some changes lately, so it's always a good idea to recheck it. All right, so it just says post to start a conversation. All right, now you can have that. Now it also has right next to it, right underneath it, write an article and add an image. So this is a great way to put out more things, and it goes into publishing. And actually you're able to come back and check out how many people have actually opened it and seen it and moved it out. And they literally will start making comments, which is always a good thing. If you want to add any organizations, other organizations you're affiliated with, you can certainly do that. And lastly, do contact. And one of my bugaboos is people who stay hidden. And remember, it's Me Inc., so they better be able to find you. So you can add your email in here. You can add a phone number. You can put in a private cell number. Your private cell number probably won't be a good idea. So use a number that's accessible, and if you want to get a Google phone number or a Magic Jack or something like this that gets redirected to your regular number and then it kind of spills out who has left a message, you could certainly do that. But I think it's really important. And also, the other thing is, this is public. This will be a public feature, is that how do people snail mail you? One of my pet peeves on websites is that you've got to fill out all these forms to contact them, and you can't find an address, you can't find a phone number, you can't find anything when it says contact. All they want you to do is fill out a form, and why are you calling them? All right, I get why people will do that. I find it irritating because you're making me work harder. I may just want to drop you a postcard or a card, and now I've got to fill out a form saying I need all these things. So get a P.O. box of some sort if you want to do that. And then the other thing is on your public profile, that where you have your name, you've got you've got a business name, like mine's the Book Shepherd, your area of of expertise, mine is book publishing. You can also go to the edit icon here and add a headshot. I think that's a good idea that you should do, and that you can have your own personal branding and a website. And I recommend that you create don't give them a whole bunch of characters to go after. You don't want to have it long. You may want to even customize it. So hopefully your domain is in your name, and something that is easily recognizable. And if it's attached to something else, you might want to do some customizing of it, and you can do it very easily with websites like bit.ly.com, and you can also do it quite easily with tiny URL. Those are the two that I kind of default to. So that's an idea to play around there. So next up, add some videos. If you've got some videos, if you've done something over on YouTube, copy the link and bring it over here, and you can post a few videos. And also any other type of media, that would make sense. And get your graphics up. And LinkedIn welcomes a lot of graphics. If you've been on a variety of things, heck, you could even put it in your header image. So decide that. Again, it could enhance, maybe instead of just a headshot, it might have an action shot of you doing something where you're speaking or you're presenting or whatever it is that you do at that will add the professional profile photo. So that's a must. So that's setting up just the profile. And then I always think it's a good idea to kind of Google yourself, do a search and see what pops up, so you can see that. And that's really a good start to see if there's anything negative, and you want to go after and see what you can do to fix that. Google also, with Google, yes, but what we're able to do is upload presentations, SlideShare, all those kind of things. I don't do that, but you may decide to do that and bring it out. But you've got the capability of under added media or any video links to bring it in. You can add lots of pictures. So those are the things that set you up on the stage. So it's a lot more than, where Facebook is an ongoing thing. You're adding to Twitter is very short. You do want to, by the way, just as a side note on Twitter, make sure you start adding images to a lot of your Twitters. Your opening rate is like 40% higher. And so you get people's attention. So you want to look at that. All right. So credibility. All right. You've got to be connected. So start searching out people who are like people or you already know, and start with that and building up your flock here. And so that you have things to post and share. And as I said, one of the ways to do that is reaching out and asking for recommendations. LinkedIn has a default one for recommendations. I'm going to tell you, don't do that one. Do a customization. People are really busy. They usually will ignore requests for recommendations. So, don't take it personally. Just go ahead and look like it. Do a write-up, and then you have it. And the other thing is, very important, is to recommend others. And be very, very aggressive about that. So we're going to take another quick break. We're talking LinkedIn. This is Judith Briles, and I'm your Book Shepherd. We'll be right back.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Since 1987, Color House Graphics has set the standard for quality book production. Whether you decide to print a small quantity of books or need a large print run, depend on Color House to help you. You'll receive professional help and advice the moment you reach one of our representatives. If you mention hearing about us on your guide to book publishing with Judith Briles, we will provide you a discount on the first order you place. To speak with a project manager, call us toll-free at 800-454-1916 or visit us at www.colorhousegraphics.com.
Want to publish like a pro today? Well, then take a look at Ingram Spark, the only publishing platform that offers print and ebook services through a single source. Upload, edit, and manage titles all in one place. Take more control of printing costs with print on demand, and reach even more readers through one of the world's most extensive distribution networks. Built by independent publishers for independent publishers, Ingram Spark has everything you need to maximize your book's potential: color printing, ebook distribution, print on demand, global reach, and more. Start publishing with Ingram Spark today and see just how far your titles will go tomorrow. That's ingramspark.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
What if you have a fabulous recommendation from someone who's not on LinkedIn? And you know what? That happens. So what you can do is that you can take that recommendation, and in your description, your summary of your experience in education, you could do a copy, paste, and drop that in. Of course, you might ask them if they'd like to get on LinkedIn, but that is one way to do that. And also they can take visual testimonials. So that certainly is expanded. And then, when someone, does endorse you, do a back out, because you'll get notified by LinkedIn that you've been endorsed. Thank them. Just do a quick respond back. Thank you for endorsing me. And you might even go back and look at them, because this is the way you start building your rapport, and you have that all together. All right. So with that said, I wanted to do one of the things that I think a lot of people don't really understand the huge power, and that's groups. And that LinkedIn has changed the way to find these guys now. And that if you on a LinkedIn page, on home, if you look at the home page on LinkedIn, and then you've got to go after and you start finding where in the heck have they put the groups. And they used to have it. It was so easy to find. So you can go into the search, and you can do it in that area. You can go into they have something called network right away, and you can do some finding there. But once you have a group that you can get into, if you click on, there is a little matrix, little dots of 9 dots they have now, and it'll be on to the right of your, what they say, me, your picture will show in your me. Your groups will be hiding in there. And that if you, and they have other posts, from posting job, advertising, looking up people, you can add slide share, you can look for salary ranges, someone's asking you for a consulting job. But when you go into your groups, that it'll identify your groups, who you are, and you're in, and you can do 50 plus, which is overwhelming. You're never going to get to all of them. But if you get into your groups, and you want to, and my primary group, and I would encourage all of you to join it, is AuthorU. So don't write space out. There's just a space between AuthorU. So if you have, and when you go into groups, there's something called Discover. And so you could look up where it allows you to join a group in that area. And once you put your expertise areas, they'll start making recommendations to you. And you can go down and you can say, I asked to join, or I'm not interested. All right. But I want you first to consider creating your own group. All right. So, as I said, that I've got AuthorU, and that in there I can go in and start a conversation, and really go in, because for example, I just put in a one on the power of the trademark. That was a discussion I just started. I can see Sandra Beckwith has a one on what's in your online author press kit. Judy Collins has put in something, 3 keys to write a book when you have no time. Oh, that's a good, that would be a good one. So might follow it. And I can go along and look at different discussions that are moving along in the area, and doing that. But here's what I would suggest, that you look up one that would be like you, and so that you could see if there's anything going on that would be of interest in that area. And that when you start that, you can then look that there's rules that you've got to put together. There's a variety of things that you're going to have to make as you go along here and create your own group, because you want rules. So lay them out. Be really firm in here. For example, one of my rules was you had to put your picture up. I want to see what you look like. And we're actually, that helps get rid of some of the spam that will come in, because the robots are out there. Let me tell you, they're happily out there. So you create your group, what it's about. So for those of you with your books, what's your expertise? What's this about? Now, there could be a lot of other groups in there, so check them out. Join them on it, because you can make an announcement in yours that you have a group, and this is what it's going to be focusing on. Give it a unique twist to it. And then you will create your like-minded groups. LinkedIn has the capability of going into who your contacts are. I have something like 9,000. And you could not, and invite them into the group. Now, everyone that you're connected with may not have any interest in your, they could be friends, they could be from other areas, but they may not have any interest in whatever your goal is within the group. So, but you could write up a special email to all these people and kick off the ball. The next thing that I would do in starting a group is I'd reach out to people that that could help contribute to it. And in contributing to it is that they would put up, some of their own articles. They would come over. They might start a discussion. When I started the AuthorU group, I reached out to designers. I reached out to marketing people. I reached out to content development people. I reached out to social media people. And I asked each one of them if you would throw something up over the next couple of weeks to start the discussion so people could see there's action going on. The topics might be of interest to them. They might add to it. They might ask questions. One of them we had that one of the members put up a question. It was something like this. Does anyone know anything about Balboa Press? It's a Christian publisher. It must be good, right? And the floodgates opened when people came forward and started adding comment about all the problems that they have had with Balboa Press, which then, of course, opened up the stealth relationships, companies like, whether it's Simon & Schuster with Archway, whether it's Thomas Nelson with Westbow Press, whether it's Hay House with Balboa Press, which is really, tied in with Author Solutions. It all going on. And over 400 comments came out. It was wild, just wild. In that process. So you can really get some wonderful dialogues and information going on. Now, you are going to be the moderator So you'll find after a while your groups pretty much run themselves, and you'll have to step in. But we'll go in and we'll manage it, and we'll I rate once a week. I'll make a new posting, the feature of the week, so people will see it when they come in, and there'll be more comments to it. And it will do a variety of different things. But it's just a great way to get known, to get your information out. So people can really expand on it and use it, and you'll keep going it. And also, let me tell you, when you are out doing promotion for your book and you are doing things like that, when you now can, because people want to know what your social media is. Radio stations want to know, how many people do you have followers on Twitter? How many do you have in Facebook? How many, whether it's Instagram or Pinterest or Tumblr or, there is a lot of platforms to choose from. And LinkedIn. And what you can say, when I look at my social media account, like I have two Twitter, actually 3 Twitter accounts, but 2 of the main ones, one's for AuthorU and one's for the Book Shepherd. All right, those combined alone have over 70,000 followers. All right, so then you come over to LinkedIn. All right, here's another 16,000 here in the group. Here's another 9,000 in the platform. Here over at Facebook, we have several accounts with multi-thousands in there that all of a sudden you have their attention. You become very viable to be featured, to be on their guest list. If you have the dream, the vision of sometime going with a New York house, these numbers count hugely when they are considering marketability and positioning and who and what you are. So that's something that you can just get a ton out of in that process. So start your own group. That and frankly, to me, that's where the power is. The second power place is to start what every blog you do, and here's what you want to do, because remember, you're feeding the Google gods. Remember, Google has to be fed. So you're feeding the Google gods, and then you're going to come up with, they're hungry. So take one of your blogs, any blog, and if you've got a whole bunch, you're sitting with a boatload of information for actually product discussion, idea discussion on your blog, from your blog to your LinkedIn group. But also, now you're going to publish a post. Remember, you have this other publishing arm that you can do right on the front page, and you'll have that goodie put together. Change the first paragraph around so it doesn't read the same, look the same. Make sure you use your keywords. And then the Google gods become very happy. They become very happy, and they will move in to then refeaturing you. Now, what's the outcome for you? It's your positioning in your optimization, or what they are all calling metadata now. And it's your positioning that your searchability. And that's why you do want to go in and find out, how are you positioning? And what you want to do is own the first page of Google. Why? Because 90% of people who go to Google to ask for something using their keywords, their search phrases, stop on page 1. If you own page 1, you're going to get the hit, and that's the good thing. So with that, we're going to take our final break for the afternoon, and we'll come back with a little bit more on the LinkedIn tips. This is AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. I'm Judith Briles, and I hope you're having a good day. We'll be right back.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and a guide to partner with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand, and is a financial success, a bestseller. It's your choice. You choose. You need the Book Shepherd. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You don't need problems. You want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and the chaos. At times, she's had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher or by a publishing service provider or sometimes even the author themselves. Judith Briles is the Book Shepherd if you want to create a book with no regrets. Give her a call today, 303-885-2207. That's 303-885-2207, or email her at judith@briles.com. By the way, Briles is spelled B-R-I-L-E-S. Follow Judith on Twitter at My Book Shepherd and on Facebook at The Book Shepherd.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. Call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, here's one other goodie that I love about what you can do as the owner of a group. You've got the capability once a week to communicate with everybody with a direct email. And it could be an announcement of an event. It could be a variety of things that you could do in sending out to your group tribe. And you could invite them to a special webinar you're doing. You could put out maybe a full-blown alert about something. I know in the publishing world, we've been talking about Amazon and what's been going on there. And I will want to end our show today just to do some reminders on what's going on in Amazon, besides becoming the giant conglomerate in the sky, I think, that you can send messages out, but it's once a week. So I don't use it every week, but when I have something I really want to promote, whether I could have an event going on I want everyone to know about, it could be maybe a special radio show that I've got going I want people to know about. It could be a contest I have going on. It could be maybe you're working on a new book cover and you need some feedback, and you're going to go, if that's going to deal and you need to direct them to go someplace, make sure you do a customized link to that. You don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff, that http:// and then blah, 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 blah. What you want them to do is to have it a word that they can recognize, and you can use upper and lower case when you make these customized on Bitly or Tiny URL. And it makes it just easier. Also makes you look more professional, which I think is a good idea. So communicate once a week at the most. And all you do, there's a little tool within the group that will allow you to send a message out for that. Now, there's also other tools with there where you can go in. We just don't let anyone join the AuthorU group. They have to ask to join, and then we go in and we actually look at their profiles to see who they are. That allows us to see are they robots? Are they really authors? Are they really writers? Are they really connected in the publishing related area? The other thing is that their LinkedIn will do some monitoring themselves, that they see someone who clearly looks like it's a promo type thing. That may be locked out, or sometimes your members will. And also, I've had situations where the members say, hey, this guy is a toad. That's my word. But that, he's just really offensive or abusive or whatever. And we will go in and I will issue a warning to them, a direct message to them, a warning. And and I will take down, you have the ability to take down posts. I will take down those posts. And if he does it again, he gets removed and blocked. So you've got those skills to do that, but your LinkedIn group can be extraordinarily effective in branding you as an expert, in pushing you out into areas that people hadn't thought about, and more people are using it. So I'm just really going to suggest it strongly that you take advantage of it. And doing it. And remember, when you're starting your group, create a customized invitation to bring other people in and invite them in. And then what you should do is also on your signature, hope you have a signature, a standard, I have several signatures I use depending upon what I'm talking about in my emails communications. But you might have it as standard, if you're in whatever your area of expertise is, join my LinkedIn group and give that connection to it and invite them in, because that's another way to push it out. Now, LinkedIn also has a capability of, if you need some help on something, you can search your group and see if they have expertise in that you're looking for, and ask for the introduction, because it does help. I get those routinely all the time. So that's a good thing in the process. So it is, and then understand that with LinkedIn, I think that you should, if you're doing messaging, I'm overwhelmed with all the messaging now that Facebook's using messaging. I thought, God, there's something else coming at me. That is, if you want to make sure that you don't spam your connections with your free webinar or pitch for your new product. After a few messages back and forth, ask for a phone call or a meeting. Don't just keep going it, and don't keep sending it out to everybody. This is one-on-one that they have, and they have direct in-mail. They have a variety of things. And so lastly, you want to do what we think about more of a content marketing with LinkedIn, that you can do that update once a week. I would do it on your outside the group, what's going on, share any progress, exciting things that are going on. They have something called the Book Marklet, and that's Marklet, the Book Marklet. And the sharing Book Marklet allow you to share content from anywhere on the web as an update or as a tweet. So you can pull things and really move it in that direction, and that's kind of cool. So remember, just as we kind of do some wrapping up here, you want to write your own post on that. So they're personalized. I've seen posts getting more personalized, where they were strictly more business. I'm seeing a little bit more personalized coming in, and Microsoft does own LinkedIn, so I'm seeing that kind of area. You can write an article, my experience is when you write your article and you do that post, or you take a blog and you repurpose it, try to keep it under 800 words. Those seem to do better. They're fast reads. You can get through them, and you can do those kind of things. So I would certainly do that and bring that about. And so as you build your LinkedIn process, you're going to find that it literally will take a all its own, which is, it was always fascinated me in the process how powerful that is. That all of a sudden I don't have to be on. I mean, used to go on several times a day, in its, let's say, infancy, in its baby steps, as it learned to walk, then it ran. And that now we can go in, we go in once a day and see if there's any new requests to join. We'll go through what new posts are there. We make sure we put up one new article every week. We make sure that we have, individual postings that go up. And I try to do a posting within the LinkedIn page on my personal side, share thing once a day on that. So it's a monitor. So if I would look at all my social media, I do LinkedIn, I do Twitter, and I do a couple of things on Facebook, and then we have once a week we'll go on Pinterest, and we'll add a couple of boards. I do tips, and I'll tell you, for all of you who, whether you're fiction or nonfiction, you should really think about creating some tip lists. And you can, the top 10 things to do, top 10 things to avoid, the 3 best ideas I've come across, maybe from a workshop that you recently attended. There is just a lot that you can do in here. So I'm for doing all of that, just to take advantage of who you are, where you are, and your expertise. And I'm going to go back to what I started our hour with. And the hour literally is all about you. It's the branding of you, who you are, where you are, how you want to put it together, and where you want to go from here. And to look at those things and how you have it, that's where it all comes together. And that's what's exciting. So social media, I've said for years, that's the town hall of all your marketing, the town hall. So as you do this and you look at what you want to be for nonfiction, I think you should be on LinkedIn. I think you should create your own group, because it's you. And I don't care if there's 100 other groups that cover your area of expertise. It's still you. And what you're going to find is you will be less involved with other groups. And then you will have things that will come back, and that you can just really, all of a sudden, you're just going to be doing pretty much you. Now, it doesn't mean that you should ignore them totally. Every once in a while, pop in. But you're going to find that when you're off and running, this is going to take more of your time. In the earliest stages, it will take more of your time. I'm not going to kid you. As you build your group and let it go out. And then you let your Facebook people know you've started a really exclusive group, and your groups are not publicly accessible. People have to be a member of the group. So people can't be voyeurs and drop in and see, what's going on here. So that's why your description of your group is essential. It has the right buzzwords. It has the right keywords, keyword phrases to attract it, that you clearly state what kind of crowd you want to build. That second component is make sure you write up the rules of what you want. I want your photo in there. I want it participative. I tell them I don't want you pitching stuff and selling stuff. I will remove it. And that kind of thing. Now, you as a moderator, you get to tell people if you have something going on, a special webinar, a special offer, a special event. It's your group. You can do that. Communicate with them once a week, if you necessary to be, to just kind of, update what's exciting. For example, if you're traveling abroad or whatever, you may want to try to do a workshop. You may have fans. And here's what's cool. You will have members all over the world. And that's very exciting to think that, London or Australia or, France or, whatever. It's very terrific to be able to kick off that way. And that you want to update those skills, you want to update your profile, make sure you have the right pictures that connect, add your videos, and really do a full-blown customization. And you'll find out that LinkedIn can work very effectively for you and your book, especially for anyone who is a nonfiction author and who wants to be looked at as a possible consultant to another group, company, organization, any of those things, or a professional speaker. And that's a huge, huge takeaway, that you can get gigs. And I know that I have people that end up going to my Book Shepherd, the bookshepherd.com website, and find me and connect with me that way. And with that, we'll do a wrap up. We'll be with you next week. Tomorrow, or today actually, we start the Judith Briles Book Publishing Unplugged, and we're looking forward to a sold-out group. Next year's dates are June 23rd to the 25th. Do join us. It's AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. Have a great writing and publishing week.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Each week, a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take you, the author, to the next level. You'll learn tips and secrets on how to create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve book publishing success by making one very simple change in your book's journey. How to avoid the publishing predators. How to create an author and book platform that rocks. Learn how to make a living with your words and your books. Learn how to publish a book that has no regrets, and so much more. For more information, check out AuthorU.org, where authors who want to be seriously successful go. And Judith's website, thebookshepherd.com. Then join us again here next week for more. It's Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Brought to you by AuthorU and the Book Shepherd. Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific,